These mini fleece liners are what allow me to not change fleece liners every few days. I make small versions of their fleece liners that I put in their hideys and near their food, so that's where they most frequently pee and poop, and I change these out every few days, and that way I can change their larger fleece out every couple weeks. I call them potty pads. So let's make some potty pads. So I should be studying for an exam that I'm taking for my job, and I was reading a book. I read almost the whole chapter, and then I realized I was reading the wrong book, and it was a book I'd already read. So I decided I deserved a break, and I realized my guinea pigs need fleece liners. That's very important. They need more potty pads for their cage because it's too hard for me to keep up with the current ones. I want to replace them more frequently than I'm able to. So let's make some more. So first we're gonna play matchy-matchy with some fleece and some towel scraps that I have. I'm just making potty pads, not like the whole liner for the cage, so just small little things like this. And I put them in like hideys and stuff. So I found this piece of fleece, which is fairly similar to this piece of towel. So perfect. Let's use these to make, I don't know, like 3 squares? Squarishes? Sounds about good. So I think I'm going to make them double-sided. I think I'm going to do light blue on this one side and then white on the other side, because then you can flip them over and, you know, you can have them look whatever they want. I have previously done waterproof on the other side. I like that too. I feel like different areas, different things are better. But right now I want some fleece, towel fleece ones. So I am going to take this, going to get a flat thing on my lap actually. I'm gonna line it up and I'm gonna cut it. This is actually really simple to make these little potty pads, but they are so useful. And yeah, I just use old towel that's laying around my house that, you know, gets stained or ugly or old or whatever, and I just use that. Alright, actually I'm going to cut off the really thick edge because my sewing machine's going to have a hard time with these hemmed towel edges. So I'm actually going to make the fleece a tiny bit smaller than the towel because I am going to cut the towel smaller. I should cut the towel first. Yeah, that would be the responsible thing to do. Okay, no more being chaotic. Let's do this right. Let's cut the towel first if I'm going to cut the towel. Alright. And I'm not using fabric scissors because I'm stupid. I don't know. Really because I don't want to ruin fabric scissors, and I know towels are really hard to cut through, although these scissors actually seem to be doing okay. So that's good, I guess. I think I'm also going to make one of these into a pillow. So that's exciting, I guess. Actually, no, really though. When I make them a little fluffier, my guinea pigs love them. My guinea pigs love when I give them like a whole pillow instead of just a potty pad. They always use them. And you're going to learn my secret about pillows in a little bit, and why pillows aren't any more expensive than, this end's not that thick, I'll leave this end. Pillows aren't any harder or more expensive than potty pads because I use something you're gonna have. I guarantee it if you are watching this video and doing this. Alright. Okay, so I cut off that super thick edge. Save that for later. Wink, wink, wink. That was the worst wink. Just, let's pretend that didn't even exist. Okay. Happened? That didn't happen. You know, words are difficult. Okay. So I'm going to take the flat, the flat end of the fleece and put it against the edge I just cut because I know that that end is fairly flat. Alright. Looking good. Kind of straighten that up against there. Beautiful. I do want the fleece to be just a barely tiny amount bigger than the towel, I actually might cut the ends off just because the fleece is actually slightly shorter, but we'll see. Okay, so you want the fleece to just barely stick out. You can not see it because this is colored. Okay, see, it's just barely sticking out, but mostly they're pretty lined up. And then we are going to cut. You could pin this. I am very chaotic when it comes to doing crafts, so I'm not gonna pin it. But you should. You should pin it. That would be the right thing to do. Okay, here's where you see the scissors issue, is with the fleece. I guess this fleece is way harder. Someone's screaming up there. What you doing? What are you screaming about? So pro tip, if you are not using good scissors, is if you kind of like put tension on it and you pull it, it makes it way easier to cut. Okay. And I'm cutting way too far out. I need to cut in closer. There we go. Because I don't want to have to cut it twice. A second time. It would be awful. Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut it a second time. I did a terrible, like a literal hack job here. Okay. That's what happens when you don't use good scissors. Whatever. I did what I did, and it's done. So, there we go. It's something. Alright. Yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna have to... It's fine, because it's so ugly anyway that I need to straighten it out. I had little fabric scissors somewhere on the floor in the chaos close to me, I thought. But now, at this moment, I do not know where they are. Well, whatever. Yeah, I have a shiz ton of stuff just off screen, but shh, no one needs to know about that. Alright, so I'm just going to try to flatten this out with the scissors I have. Just do little bits at a time in hopes that it's not awful. Okay, that was not terrible. I mean, it went crooked, but it's better than it was before. Oops, better not hum anymore, might get demonetized. We don't need that, do we? Although, am I going to edit this? I don't know. Maybe you'll just get to see my raw, unfiltered, basically live thoughts, if that's what you call these. That might be interesting. I've never not edited a video. It would be a lot less work for me, right? So, you know, if I do and you end up seeing this part of the video because it exists, tell me what you think. Was it awful? Or did you like having a little insight into the chaos of my brain that you probably never knew because I do educational stuff. So, my brain, oh, this is terrible. Well, you know, can only get worse, right? Okay. Oh my god, what am I doing? It's a disaster. It'll look better once it's sewn though anyway, because, I mean, I'm not going to fold the edges, I'm just going to serge the edges, but I think it'll still be fine, although I've literally never done that before. I always fold the edges over, but it was just so much extra work to have to flip it inside out and stuff, and ugh. And then one of my friends that makes them just serges the edges, and I was like, actually, I like that. That looks great. So we're going to try that, and hope that my hack job doesn't ruin everything. Let's see. Okay, well, we'll see. Alright, so I think I'm going to make, should I make tiny ones like this one? I feel like having them a little bigger would actually be better. So should I make 2 or 3? You know, this is actually a nice size. I might, because that would fit in a tunnel pretty well. I don't have a lot of bigger, like medium-sized ones, so maybe I will do that. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to make 2. This one's a little crooked. Alright, so I'm going to make 2 equal size ones, and then I do have another little one I'm going to make 2. So let's cut this like this. Please use fabric scissors if you do this. Please, 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 please do as I say, not as I do, because I don't know what's wrong with me. Like, I actually, well, I do, but, you know, just, you know, use your brains. Okay. Or at least new scissors. I mean, probably scissors like this are pretty sharp when they're new, too. And that would probably work fine, too. Could I sharpen these? I know how to sharpen knives. I mean, a blade's a blade, right? I guess as long as I know the angle. Okay. Alright, there we go. Got them. 2 equalish sort of things. Okay. Alrighty. Now we cut the towel in half too. Which my scissors should actually be able to cut. Thank goodness. Okay. Ah, yes. So fulfilling when your scissors mostly sort of just cut through that. Alright, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Alright, now let's make sure these fit. Alright, so as I suspected, the towels are a little bit too big. So I'm going to cut off the thick edges of the towels, and then I'm just going to cut off any little frayed weird spots. Alright, so this sticks out a little bit. I'm going to trim that. Beautiful. Perfect. Ish. Cut. Okay. This edge sticks out a little bit too. Alright, great. Okay. So now I've got 2 towels, 2 fleecinesses, and then I'm going to just cut the weight to match it real quick. I hope my phone has enough storage, because if I'm not going to cut this, I can't cut it at all, because that would not be right. Alright. I have a bunch of fleece on this side, so let's see, how do I want to do this? Probably around here. Okay. Oh no! I'm gonna have to cut this and not make a mess. Okay, well, guys, what are we doing up there? Because it does not sound nice, whatever it is. Actually, this seems a little easier to cut than the blue. Maybe it's something, I don't know, different. Maybe I'm hallucinating. I don't know, we'll see. Beautiful, okay. The edge it's that weird edge, so to cut that. Otherwise I'll have weird holes in my liner, which honestly, not a big deal, but I'm gonna do something with these scraps, so no worries. I am not wasting them. I promise. Not only do I care about the environment, but I don't know, I don't throw things away, you know? Okay, perfect. Great, okay. And I'm just gonna, it would be easier to just cut this direction, so I'm gonna do that. So that, bam, there's a second one. Looking good, okay. One there, beautiful. Cut. Alright. And lastly, across the top. Another thing that is a good idea to do, instead of just cutting along it like I am, is actually drawing a line on it. You can use like just like kind of like waxy pencils. There's usually red and white that you can use for sewing, which will just either you can just brush them off later, or they'll just come off in the washing machine. It's kind of like I feel like it's kind of like an eyeliner colored pencil sort of deal, but you can use those. Come on, we're so close. You got this. You could do it. We're so close. Okay, there we go. Now we're cutting. Now we're cutting. Now we're cutting. Okay. Yeah, that'll help. No, actually, maybe it did. I don't know. Okay, we did it. Mostly. Sort of. Almost. We're not actually done yet. Okay, now we cut this in half. Can you hear the water bottle? It's kind of like how Scotty's Animals always says that his guinea pigs purposely drink water when he's recording things. He might be onto something. Okay. Alright, looking good. Okay. There's also a train, but I'm pretty positive you won't be able to hear that. It's making more noise than usual, actually. I hope, you know, it's not about to kill someone. Okay. Done. All of the cutting is done. Alright, beautiful. So I've got all of these. Now all you've got to do is pin, okay? This is the easy part. Okay, so what we're going to do, take a white, take a towel, take a blue. Perfect. Bam. Alright. And we're going to pin it exactly how we want it to look. No inside out stuff, because we're just going to sew the edges, I think. Like I said, never sewn it like that before, but I've seen it and I understand the theory, and I'm hoping it'll work for me like it does for everyone else. Maybe. Okay. Now I do believe that you probably want the towel to be maybe a tiny bit smaller or inside of the other stuff, because I feel like the edge is going to stick out and show, and of course measured it and measured it and measured it, and it's still a little bigger than needed, but that's okay. The towel wasn't too hard to cut, so let's just trim some of that bulk. Trim this edge. Alright, hopefully it's good now. Okay, let's see. Alright, there we go. Okay, that does look a lot better. Alright, I'm gonna hope that's good. And if it's not, well, you guys know. And don't have to do the same thing. So fleece, towel, fleece. Why does this look like a hot mess shape? Well, we're just gonna do it, you know? We're just gonna hope for the best, I guess. No, we're not. We're gonna trim it a little bit. Well, you know what? How about we pin it and then trim it? That would probably be a smart thing to do. Okay. I know I put other pins through there. Now, it may seem like a lot of thinking, but one of the biggest tips I have, which I frequently forget, so that's why I'm telling you, is to think about how you're going to put this through the sewing machine and make sure you put the pins on right, because if you have a sewing machine on your right, you want the head of the pin to be on the left, so you can easily, as you're feeding this through, pull the pin out, and then think about how you're going to turn it, put the pin head there again, because if I were to, I can't think of how I'd mess it up now that I figured out the right way, but I've done it before where I was feeding it through and I had to pull the heads towards the needle of the machine, and it's a disaster. Don't do it. It's not fun. You have to stop all the time. It wastes so much time, so it's worth it to spend 2 seconds of extra time when you're pinning to just figure out the right way to pin. I promise it'll save time in the long run. If you don't know what I mean, because you've never used a sewing machine before and this is your first time, when you watch me sew it, it'll all make sense, hopefully. Otherwise, leave a comment and I'll try to explain better. I'll show you other videos where I've screwed up and done it wrong so that you can see what I mean. Alright. And you can also pin, parallel to it if you so desire. I just do whatever feels right in the moment. That's probably not surprising if you've watched the rest of this video. Okay, so I have it pinned. Now, yeah, I'm just going to trim a little bit of it. So I think I'm going to trim this edge especially because you can see it's really sticking out right here. I don't want that. I hope you can see this. I suppose I can zoom in, but that would not be no editing now, would it? Why does my arm hurt? I'm barely doing anything. Okay. I guess I'm getting old, It's just the world telling me. Probably the world telling me I need to have fabric scissors, but it's this arm that hurts, so that makes no sense. And I just cut too much fleece off, so that kind of backfired, but I'm just gonna go with it. All right. God, I'm so stupid. I should just stand up and go find some fabric scissors, but I'm not going to. Because I've already started like this, so I'm gonna finish like this. I'm my own worst enemy. Okay. Alright, there we go. I did stuff. And just cut that away. No one needs to see that. Alright. Okay. Now I think it's pretty okay. Thought that before. That was not very smooth at all. Let's try that again. Let's throw things around with pins. Alright, no. There we go. Much better. And I just dropped all my pins. Okay. Beautiful. So now we're gonna sew this, and hopefully I go back to studying and you don't see me in this outfit. Shit. This edge is not good. It's not good. I have to. Okay. No. Yes. You know what? Actually, I bet I can stretch the white a little bit more. That's something you don't want to forget, is that fleece stretches, so sometimes if it seemed like it fit perfectly before, it's probably because it does. And it just kind of misshaped? No, definitely misshaped when you pinned it, so keep in mind you can, if you need to, just pull the fleece because it will be a little stretched when you sew it. That's okay. So there we go, now it's perfect. All I had to do was stretch it, not cut it, and I should probably stretch this side too. It's kind of hard when you're using 2 layers of fleece because you can't like stretch both sides properly very easily when you're trying to pin it. And that's another important reason to pin it, because if you're sewing, you sure can't. Although I have done that before, but just don't. Okay, this bad edge will probably be fine. Okay, there we go. That's actually legitimately okay. Beautiful. Okay, again, hopefully I go study now and you see me sewing this tomorrow, or maybe after I take the exam. That would be a good idea. Yeah, we'll see about that. I mentioned I was gonna make a pillow, and this is how I do it. So I'm gonna do the same thing with the fleece and the towel and the fleece, but also I just shove a bunch of scraps in there. Alright, so I did study a bit last night. I know, I'm just as surprised as you. But I've got these pinned. Let's go sew them. And also we've got some special guests. There's Minnie Mo. I don't know where Cinnamon is. Oh, she's hiding. So I ran into some issues with the sewing machine. Eventually I fixed it. But, now I sewed the first 3 sides of the pillow and I have to stuff it. I stuff it with fabric scraps, and you can see I decided to end up using the kind of diamond hash sewing thing. And then you just sew the last end and you've got a pillow. Oh, and I trimmed the edges off. And let's put one in this bed. There we go. So the hot spots are covered. And that's it. Let me know what you thought of this kind of unedited style. And feel free to ask any questions if anything wasn't clear. But these things are lifesavers. If you liked it, please like it and subscribe to see more.